We're back here with a scrim night with server 76. This is the last map between Ancient Templar and Versus. We can see Flake just hovering on that Sombra. I don't think that's going to come true though. It make me laugh and probably make you mad.
Yeah, probably. He likes to lock in that Sombra really early on and just try and troll my brain a little bit. But I always know he's always going to swap back, or I'll come back and haunt him if he does pick that Sombra. Unless somebody else picks the lose here, you never know. Unless they're really confident they've come up with something I've never seen before, I'll be impressed.
Both teams do similar lineups here, besides Spoons on the May, who uses the May wall to cut off. A couple of the members here of Versus are going to find themselves trapped, being controlled. Alt Salt and Bazar, with Ruvo on the Reaper getting a double kill.
Yeah, and May and Reaper, really good combination because you're able to wall players off at the back, which allows your Reaper a little bit more time to just walk up and just go straight into the face of those opponents. When you typically see right now, they have swapped to this 3-tank lineup. They're running that Zenyatta as well. It means they're just denying that Discord orb, and they just got that little bit of an advantage. Half of their players walled off, charging with Sparky, and then Wivo just going huge on the rest of their players, and 70% on ultimate already from that.
How do you feel about Reaper in the current meta?
A little bit underused, but very difficult to get a lot out of it. It's really hard to get your Reaper in close enough a lot of the time against a really solid team.
Here comes the fight with Odie's quite low. Ruvo singling him out. Beza gets the kill back on Sparky as a lot of people are caught in the corner here for Versus. They need to get themselves out of that, and Ruvo is going to take that opportunity, hit a Death Blossom, get a triple kill.
He got an ultimate that far up. He was a little bit no pressure applied. He went to that stairwell on the side. He got those supports on the edge. He took out Odie, then went straight onto Lotta, just taking him out on the side. There was not much they could do because none of the players had a really good angle to deal with him. And then from there, they were all forced into that corner. And then Wivo at the end, they took that deep. At the moment that mech popped, he just pressed his ultimate and just finished the rest of them off.
You can see him just waiting here on the right-hand side. He's going to appear right behind them here on the supports. He just forgot about McCree, though. He's right behind. He's going to get flashbanged and taken out. So the delay from Plex actually worked out pretty well here for Versus, as they've got the one-man advantage. Make that two with Ozrina getting the kill on top of Flake, and they push back on top of the checkpoint. Control Alt Salt lands the Flame Strike to build up some of that ultimate. They're forcing a lot of the members of Ancient Templar off the checkpoint. And Project throws down a Graviton Surge inside a Blizzard. So a lot of ultimates coming out here for Ancient Templar.
Yeah, a lot of what's coming out here, and no follow-up because they lost. Well, Project wasn't in a really great position to really follow it up, but it's actually just going to be enough, it looks like, as they do come back with a few of the players. Nope, Plex shutting down Project, really key pick there. As Plex goes absolutely huge on this McCree. He's doing a great job right now on this McCree to shut down that aggression coming out from Ancient Templar. That May's working a little bit for Ancient Templar at the moment, just not enough. They kind of a wasted combo really mostly at the end there.
That's a Blizzard and a Graviton Surge down, which are two critical ultimates here on King of the Hill.
Yeah, two really good ultimates, especially on this point alone. Just with the players usually typically playing on the point, you really want those to clean up the point.
Plex takes that Wivo again for a third time. He's had his number all of this map, and he takes that Project as well. So Plex is already getting kills by himself on the right-hand side freely with no shields in front of him. Does he stop it? He gets Spoons again, so Plex going huge. Yeah,
one thing about not running your own McCree or Soldier or your long-range DPS, this is the problem with Reaper right now. Even in McCree, you typically see Soldier, though. Soldier just has McCree, Reaper's number, and it can be quite difficult just alone as against Soldier. And then a McCree on top of that with the stun. If you do get close to him, he's going to stun you with that flashbang, which we saw earlier when Wivo was on that high ground. It's really difficult to get close enough, especially if you don't have the advantage already.
Maywall's going to come up, which is going to stop Plex from getting some shots down. As the self-destruct's going to go right up on top of the air. Flake finishes off Beza. As they're going, Ruvo's got the nano boost on top of him, moving forward on top of the checkpoint. Sparky's going to get pinned up against the wall, but his team's there to back him up. So the cap's going to come back here for Ancient Templar at 63%.
Yeah, that boost on Wivo's has put a huge amount of damage onto those players that group up. Unfortunately for Versus there, Ozroni sent that ultimate a little bit too high, which really just allowed Ancient Templar not having to worry about that ultimate they really needed for that fight. Able to just push forward afterwards, and Spoon's just here on this May, just splitting up the players of Versus constantly with these May walls.
Cryo Freeze comes out for Spoons. He's back to full health, good to go again. So they used a couple of ults before. That was a little bit scary for Ancient Templar, but they find themselves back in a comfortable position.
Yeah, and since they're on the defense now, Reaper can get a lot more work done playing behind the Reinhardt shield, as well as having this Death Blossom ready to go.
Spoons throws in the Blizzard. Here's the Death Blossom from Wivo, who picks himself up a couple of kills there with the help of Project and Spoons, who now pile on top of the checkpoint to go up against Ozrino and Lohar. So they're down a lot of members here. Lohar's the next one to fall. Overtime bars up here. It's shrinking. Graviton Surge to seal the deal here. First point on the poll goes to Ancient Templar.
Yeah, that Reaper. We see the big difference of the Reaper there. When you have control of the point, when you have a little bit of an advantage. When the advantage is with you, Reaper can do a lot of work. When you're behind, you see how much Plex is able to shut down the lineup of Ancient Templar just by picking Wuvo off over and over again as the Reaper. So that's the big thing about Reaper right now. I'd like to point out, just you really have to be ahead to get a lot out of him. It's really difficult to do that, but Ancient Templar managed to do that in the end. But a lot of that off the back of the rest of the team of Project and Sparky and Spoons, just getting him in close, using those walls efficiently, using the Reinhardt efficiently, and just using a lot of effort to get Wuvo in close.
Couple of seconds tick down here. Spoons has got a stick on top of the May. Wuvo still going for that Reaper, so nothing changed on the side of Ancient Templar. But we do have a little bit of a mix-up here for Versus with Control Alt Salt on the Winston. They're not going to run a Reinhardt.
Yeah, this is still a very good comp, especially on these enclosed maps. If you get a good wall behind them here, they could really easily charge one of their players, but they're all split off by it there.
The May wall comes up from Spoons, quickly taken back down as the fight's going to rotate towards the checkpoint. Control Alt Salt gets the first kill, and Sparky is second as Bazar moves towards the checkpoint. He's been taken out now as the fight was continued. A lot of the fight was split up here for Versus, who find themselves separated, already been taken out, and that's the first cap going to Ancient Templar.
Yeah, Bazar there on the point there, gets the hook onto Wuvo, but he survives the combo just to having that 50 more HP than the typical DPS, which is actually one thing both of these DPS for Ancient Templar have right now. They won't get bursted by that combo from the Hog as easily here, so good for them there. He survives, he does go down to the tanks that do dive on the point, but the rest of the line of Ancient Templar following up immediately afterwards.
They're trying to push in. The Maywall's going to close off a lot of members of Versus who find the tanks trapped in there, and Control Alt Salt's going to find himself back to the spawn point now. People are pushing out here. My camera angle was really bad there. A lot of people at Ancient Templar were beginning to push out, but they held off and restrained themselves.
Yeah, this is another thing. When you've got Reaper, I've said you had an advantage. If you're ahead with Reaper, you're just able to hold that advantage. Another one is May. As actually Reaper gets hooked out there, that's a really big piggy right now. They're going to have to use this May wall just completely defensively. So that's the other key thing. If May wall, it can just split people off on this map.
And the fight's going to continue. Well, the fight's going to be re-engaged here from Versus, but the Blizzard's going to be thrown down from Spoons as the Netherburst on top of Sparky here is swinging people at will. As Oz Rhino found himself on top of the wine is it a bookcase or the wine? I don't know what the hell.
Bit of a rack cabinet sort of thing there, maybe wine. But like I say, it's wine there, so yeah. A little bit, you see, they get that pick there, and they're just a little bit overzealous to get in there too quickly there. Just, you got to remember, even if you're one pick up, you got to be aware there's a lot of ultimate disadvantage in that defending team's side.
A couple of members caught inside that Graviton Surge of Project, and Wubo and Project get a kill each there. Wubo with the double kill, still moving forward. The Maywall's going to trap people out. The Death Blossom coming out from Wubo. There is a defense matrix, but it's not going to hold him down. He gets a triple kill. Yeah,
just constantly applying this pressure. You see they do get picks in the side of Versus here, but this pressure that immediately comes out. They're able to wall people off, especially with that Death Blossom left. They're able to just go in off the back of that, and they're just making sure they're playing away from Plex right now. They actually pick Plex off as he plays a little bit too aggressively at the start here.
And the sound barrier is going to come out from lower highs. He tries to get towards the point. A lot of members are split up here for Versus, so it's been the same problem for them because Odie's hit the Transcendence. He can't get to his team in time, and Wubo can just run around and kill people at will. He's got himself a double kill, and the Blizzard's going to come out from Spoons. That's going to be all she wrote. The 2 points going to go to Ancient Templar, who's going to win here in Nepal.
Yeah, well done from Ancient Templar at the end. They play that aggression, they play that Reaper. Not sure how sold I am on that strat. It's reasonably okay to run that May and Reaper, but you really need to make sure you're ahead and stay ahead, because if you fall behind at all, we did see how well Plex did into it when he was, when they finally got control of the points.
So what are your highlights of Ancient Templar up against Versus here with about 3 or 4 maps after between the two teams?
Just big thing about how aggressively they're playing. They do go over aggressive sometimes, but they have started to apply the pressure a lot more to a lot of teams that they go up against. So it's really well done from them to finally just recognize that they can't sit back and be too passive, and they're really getting out their mechanics when they apply that pressure. So congrats to them for doing that. It's one thing I've harped on to them a little bit sometimes about. So ulti management as well. Sometimes it's been hit or miss in the past. A few times tonight there was an overcommittal of ultimates, but in general they are committing the right ultimates at the right time, so that's another big plus for them at the moment.